Hello, dear panelists and dear viewers, dear audience, and today we'll be discussing very important and pressing issues for Russia. We'll be speaking about inclusive sports. And today with us we have the Minister of Sports of the Russian Federation, Oleg Matytsin, the President of the Republic of Tatarstan, Rustam, the President of the Special Olympics Russia, Olga Slutsker, and the CEO of Coca-Cola HBC Russia, Aleksandar Ruzevic. I'm happy to welcome all of you here today, and I'm representing the organization, the Open Hearts Foundation, which has been involved in developing inclusive aspects. I'm very thrilled about the possibility of discussing this matter on such a high level and also discussing the very high-profile upcoming event, which will take place in 2022, which will be the Special Olympics here in Russia. And this will be the Winter Games, in fact. And to me, it's a great and wonderful surprise, and it's a very important topic and opportunity at the same time to be able to discuss with such a top caliber of panels today, and to be able to think about how can we do this in Russia and what can we do to make Russia more inclusive and more open to people with development aspects and different opportunities, or differently abled people. And actually, when we speak about inclusion, it requires involvement of many people, from different social strata and all walks of life. And I believe that sports is actually a very unique thing in our lives, which brings us together. It's accessible, affordable for everybody, irrespective of your social standing, your religion affiliation, and many other things. And I would like to give the floor to the Minister of Sports of the Russian Federation, Oleg Matytsin, and ask you, Oleg, first of all, what is Special Olympics? I know that this kind of word combination for many of our audience may be a new thing. Thank you very much, and it's a big honor for me to be able to be a part of this great panel today. And you've been absolutely right in saying that to be able to discuss this very important issue, a very important aspect concerning the Special Olympics as a movement and working on inclusion, which is very important. And for our society and for the global society as well, this is becoming more and more important, because we're all different and cultures and countries are different, which makes sense. But our common task and goal is to minimize these differences and to integrate all the best practices and cultures and achievements, and to make sure that those people who may have some development special cases and situations, they would not feel alienated from the rest of society. And first of all, I would like to say Happy New Year post factum, and I would like to congratulate Olga on her birthday, and I'm wishing that 2021 will be much healthier for all of us. And may we take all the lessons we have learned and all the difficulties that we have overcome, and may we become much stronger and more united. As for the Special Olympics movement, I can say that this movement has been founded in the USA by the sister of Kennedy, the president, and it dates back to the special situation which they had in their family. And this was one vivid example of raising a child with some intellectual issues. And they made it like the basis of the global movement. And actually, they have shown that taking care of your child, it's a basic value for any society. And we believe that this is great, and it's very important to proliferate and to develop. The problem or issue of inclusion is that sometimes people may be segregated into some categories, and the challenge of the Special Olympics movement is using sports and using special programs and working on families to be able to give better highlight to this problem and to involve many healthy people into this process of raising and helping those people who may be challenged with some intellectual development issues. And it remains to be seen who needs it more, healthy people or people who are lacking their healthy status. And being able to build this kind of environment, it's a signal to society that all of us are actually responsible for the developing today and developing tomorrow. We have to think about the future of our kids and to make sure that people do not feel that they are alienated from the rest of society. Whereas in the Russian Federation, this movement has been in development for about 20 years, and I'm very thankful to Olga for assuming this quite a big responsibility to become the head of this movement. And we can see the new dynamics that she has brought into popularizing this movement, and actually Russia has been entitled to hold this special Winter Olympics in 2022, which is the recognition of the Russian experience and the involvement of the government, because since day one of building this movement, the Russian state has paid a lot of attention to doing all kind of events and to preparing the special pool talent and for international community. And this kind of position is very important, and the president of the Russian Federation has made a decision to do the Special Olympics. The Republic of Tatarstan and the city of Kazan in particular will be hosting the Olympics, and they are well known as the organizer of major sports events. And actually it's such a capital where they pay a lot of attention to culture, sports and education, and these standards will enable us to hold this event on the highest level possible. As for the Ministry of Sports and for the Russian government, again, it's one of the top priority issue in 2021. We are planning to do about 8 events according to the Special Olympics program. We will be having one test event, which will be the competition in the city of Kazan. And hopefully the governmental, non-public organizations and businesses will be joining their hands, and we will show that Russia is self-sufficient, we're open, and we are willing to share our experience. Thank you, and thank you for supporting this movement. And I would like to give the floor now to Rustam, Minnikhanov, the head of the Republic of Tatarstan, which will be hosting such a high-profile and important event. And I believe it's another gem in our corona, in the array of many sporting events which have been splendidly organized and held in Russia. And Republic of Tatarstan is so progressive. It is not a surprise that such a grand event will be taking place in the city of Kazan. Rustam, what kind of infrastructure will be prepared for the guests of these Special Olympics, which will be from the world over, and what will be some inclusive events which will be happening in Kazan before that time? Good morning, good afternoon, and thank you very much for being able to share about this large-scale event for the country in general and for our Republic. And I would like to thank our team, Olga Slutsker, and our Minister Oleg Matytsin, that in such challenging times, our country has been able to get the status of the host country of such a landmark event in our country. And the choice was given to our Republic and to the capital of our Republic, because in the last number of years we had held many events. It was Global Universiade and the World Swimming Championship and the Confederation Cup. We had the World Cup stage, and the latest event, it was the World Skills, the Global Championship, which had also happened in our territory. And as for the infrastructure, be it for the hospitality infrastructure, transportation, and sporting facilities, enable us to deal with all these challenges which we will be facing in the next year. As for the Republic itself, I can say that We see it as a huge honor and a huge responsibility at the same time, because seven sports will be held. In this Special Olympics, we will be engaging 5 sporting complexes or facilities. They're all intact, they're up and running. We have the full picture, like where the guests and the athletes will be staying and where we will be having all the competitive events and how to organize that. As for the organizing committee, it has been already established, and I'm kindly asking our minister to make sure that the same organizing committee would also be established on the federal level in Russia. So, as a matter of fact, it is not only about gaining some sports outcomes and results. It's actually about adapting those participants and want to make sure that they feel they're absolutely the same as we are. They can compete, they can show their best, and this is great. There is also another movement about professional mastery, and for 2 years consecutively we have been involved on the national championship, and we came in ranking number 2. And actually, these people could be asking for some government support measures, and they're staying very proactive, and they're great professionals, be it welders and design professionals and builders, you name it. And this actually the second track, the second sporting track for people with disabilities. And we can see that in our republic it's so important. We're paying a lot of attention to this. People may have different issues, be it physical or of other properties, but we have 6,700 facilities in our republic which are fitted for people with all categories of disabilities. And we have over 2,000 sporting facilities, and I'm fully confident that these Special Olympics will provide a big push for our country, which we will get after we have had this professional mastery championship. And we've shown that all these things are very important. So I can assure you once again that this issue is a top priority for our country, because this decision to be a part of this has been made by Vladimir Putin, the head of the state, and he entrusted this event to our capital, and along with the Ministry of Sports and along with Olga Slutsker's team, we will do our best to make sure that this would be the best Special Winter Olympics which may be happening in our country. I do not have any doubts about that. Thank you, Rustam, and we are eagerly waiting for the possibility to come to Kazan. And I believe that in February, we are going to have the Russian Olympics for 6 sports. And we will be very happy if you'll find an opportunity to come and join us. I personally invite you. Thank you. And before I give the microphone to the next speaker of our session, I would like to show you a short video. Let's watch the video.
Все спортсмены друг друга поддерживают, все спортсмены друг друга, наоборот, подбадривают. Это больше похоже, я думаю, на классические античные олимпиады, которые мы знаем.
Это такое мощное лекарство для всех людей, сидящих на трибуне. В этих людях ты видишь столько доброты, целеустремленности, преодоления, силы воли. И многим людям нужно еще поучиться именно этим качествам и отношению к жизни.
Всемирные зимние игры специальной Олимпиады в 2022 году в Казани. Больше, чем спорт. Это событие, которое лечит души.
Next is Olga Slutsker, the president of the Special Olympics Russia, and I believe that she is a true magician. She is the person who has done the impossible. And as for Natalia Vadanova, who is the head of the Open Hearts Foundation, for many years she's been the member of the board of the Special Olympics Russia. And I remember that some time ago we were trying to deliberate and to think how quickly this could happen. I mean, holding Special Olympics in Russia. And frankly, I was thinking that it may take another 10 years. And here we are. Olga Slutsker is the official head of the Special Olympics movement in Russia. And this is happening right in front of our eyes. And referring back to Natalia, I know that this is a huge event. It's a grandiose event, even though she herself is the sister of a lady with special, developmental challenges, and she knows firsthand this whole situation about inclusive development. And despite of all the difficulties after attending Special Olympics, she was absolutely thrilled, and it's a huge driver for improving quality of life of all the people with special intellectual challenges and their family members. And also, it's an important driver of developing professional communities, because if sport professionals are learning many new things when they're involved in Special Olympics, even professionals in the medical field gain some new knowledge and some insights. Olga, would you be so kind to share with us about the programs which include Special Movement and Special Olympics? First of all, thank you very much for your invitation. Once again, hello everyone. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I have had my birthday yesterday. And what I would like to say, I would like to give you a very quick update. And to give you one example, in the Russian Republic of Udmurtia, there is a big settlement, a village maybe. It's quite far from Moscow distance-wise, and in this kind of remote location, they have only two schools. One is a correctional or developmental school, and second one is just a general education school. Or, that is to say, one school is for special kids and other one is regular. And unfortunately, the students of the general school, for quite a while, they've been just sniggering and joking and making fun of those kids who were studying in this special, correction school. There was a mutual aggression. Then two sports trainers, two friends. One was teaching sports in this like a regular high school, and the second sports teacher was in this correctional school, and they both love volleyball, and they decided to build a unified volleyball team between the students of these two schools. They connected to the regional representative of the Special Olympics. They've built this special team, volleyball team. They've been working with the kids. They've motivated them. They were able to build this actual sporting team. And this team began to travel all over Russia, taking place in different competitions, in qualifiers, and then eventually they were qualified for the big international tournament for the Special Olympics in Serbia. They came to Serbia and they became #1. They won gold. And this is a fantastic story. In fact, it's a story when it's a grassroots, it's a bottom initiative. It's not somebody told you from the ministries, but just two of our colleagues, Oleg, you and I, because they are sport teachers in just regular public schools. They've built a totally different situation in these two schools. And this whole case is very indicative, because we can see that you can take kids from a regular school and to be more humane and to be able to accept people who are different from you in certain aspects. Not only this is good and great, but also it carries some bonuses with it. It impacts your life positively in terms of your professional life, in your personal life as well. And these kids begin to travel, right? They begin to meet new people, they begin to travel in Russia and beyond Russia. They won some medals, which they've never gotten otherwise, unless they would be a part of this combined volleyball team, in this unified team with the guys from correctional school and with the guys from regular school. This is one example of this like real-life inclusion that we are speaking about, and we are serving to this idea, right? We're trying to promote this idea. And our programs are aimed, and thank you to the Coca-Cola company and to the Stavros Syniarchos Foundation, who are also developing the inclusive movement. We're aiming at shaping the mindset of the young people, because it's very important while they're still young to drop these seeds and to give them this, interest and acceptance of people. I will reiterate myself, people who may be different from you. They may be different by their intellectual or physical properties and capabilities. And let's say the Coca-Cola company's program. Maybe you'll be able to give us some update later, and I will be sharing about the Stavros Syniarchos Foundation. 6 regions have been chosen. They did not want to select, like a central, rich, big regions of Russia. They wanted to select other regions of Russia who would be geographically quite remote from one another. All the way from the Far East to the Central Russia. At first, there were 5 regions, then Republic of Tatarstan was joined and included into this program. 83 public schools have been involved, both correctional schools and just the general schools. And based on these public schools, they've built teams from soccer, track and field, and all kinds of different sports. They were like unified teams with the guys with special intellectual, physical challenges, and with regular guys. They're training together, they're playing together, and doing all kinds of activities. And all in all, they've built 249 teams. In 1 year alone, 249 teams, and we got the money from Stavros Syniarchos Foundation, and we used this money for these projects. Now we're on a finishing line. We're communicating with the Vladimir Potanin Foundation. They've shown their interest in developing inclusive culture, and we want to do it in 15 regions of Russia. And what is important, that within these programs of building combined sporting teams, we're doing the training, we're training trainers, we're training sports teachers of how to work with these special kids and with young adults, those who have the special intellectual challenges or developmental challenges. And in this year of pandemic, in this kind of online mode, we have done some trainings involving thousands and thousands of professionals. As for the Mr. Potanin Foundation, we are planning to do some joint projects in 15 regions of Russia for the next 3 years. And without these kind of regional specifics, we're planning at least 2,000 people to be involved. Those who would like to get additional knowledge, want to train them and train the trainers and sport teachers.
So we are training them all to handle people with developmental challenges. So this is what our program is about. And another point is that, well, since you mentioned the Special Olympics, I also had a chance to attend all the World Special Olympics in Abu Dhabi. That was Summer Games, and I was completely taken away by the wave of this pure energy of sports. Professional sports is, in a lot of senses, has become a show. It's all about televised events, it's all about commercial and advertising, and this is what I love. I'm a professional sportsman, I'm a professional athlete, but professional sports does not have this component of sincerity. So if we go to Kazan to watch these games, we will witness a flow of energy and a flow of pure joy. And Mr. Matytsin mentioned family values. And in a way, this is what our program is about, because I believe that one of the objectives of our program is to support those families where there are kids with developmental challenges. And these families are in a very difficult situation. They face tremendous difficulties. It is very difficult to walk with your kid on a playground. It is very difficult to get your kid registered in a school or send your kid to a sports school. And I think this is my responsibility to give a chance to these families and these kids to go in for sports. I want to give them a chance to socialize their kids through getting access to the treasures and splendors of sports. That's what I have to say. I also wanted to ask you another question. I know that you have become the head of the Special Olympics in Russia sometime after the idea of Special Olympics has come about. And I think there are a lot of plans which have yet to be implemented, and you must have some ideas to develop this movement further. I know that whilst we are getting prepared to these games in 2022, we are planning to give more information on the heroes of these Special Olympics, because we do not know enough about these people as compared to professional athletes who participate in conventional competitions. What are you planning to work on? Well, regarding the athletes participating in the Special Olympics, I want to make one point. In a way, it's an anecdotal situation. Kids with developmental challenges who are getting trained in line with the Special Olympics program tend to be the most successful kids in their families, because the entire family is supporting them. Whereas other kids, normal kids, they don't have disabilities and other challenges, but they develop in a normal way, and they lack this chance to develop this sports career. So, by doing this, we are sending a message to families, to parents, and to everyone else. Here is an option for you to give an opportunity to your kids to live a bright and full life and get self-realization from it. There was a time when I went into sports, into fitness, and I set up the first network of fitness clubs in Russia. And we didn't have coaches. We didn't have enough coaches. We could have built many sports centers across Russia, but we had no coaches to staff these fitness centers. And we started, the first money that I got from this business was invested into developing coaches and people. We trained thousands of coaches, so thousands of fitness trainers and other specialists. And the same thing is true here. We need to set up the training system. We need to set up the communicational system. We need to set up the schedule of trainings. So we need to train the trainers so that these trainers would then spread this methodology further. And you played an excellent video, and I do like this video. It's a brief video, but if you like, we can show you a longer version of it. Our Olympic ambassadors are answering questions in these videos. We invited different people representing different professions to become our ambassadors. And these are very successful people, very decent people, and they are ambassadors of our Special Olympics. So this video is a good example of what we can do to advertise our movement. I do hope this video will be shown, will be broadcasted on our TV. This is briefly it. That's what we're planning to do. So you have a lot ahead of you. And now I would like to give the floor to the CEO of Coca-Cola, HBC. because it is thanks to Coca-Cola's support that we have gathered here today, and thanks to Coca-Cola's support, the Special Olympics is flourishing across the world. I had the chance to watch the opening ceremony for the Sochi Olympics games when I was in the United States. I know perfectly well what the Olympic games are and what Paralympics is and what the Special Olympics is. And then I saw Coca-Cola's brand and Coca-Cola's commercial. And this commercial showed videos from all three of these games, and it was a kind of a revelation to me. So I had the chance to understand the point of view taken by Coca-Cola on the issue of inclusivity. So it's sports accessible for everyone, sports without boundaries and sports without segregation. Aleksandar Ruzevic is our next speaker, and he will tell us about the efforts taken by Coca-Cola to support Special Olympics. Thank you very much.
And with Russia. So according to official data in Russia, we have around 3 million people with mental disabilities. And as Olga mentioned, not always we see them amongst us. They live in a social isolation, and we would like to help them to discover a different world of opportunities and more visibility, and to help them to live normal life amongst us. And as you mentioned, that's why for the many years now, actually, when it comes to Special Olympics, for the 52 years, we are supporting initiatives which are leading to building inclusive societies. We'll also start with a short movie, which is basically describing the history of our cooperation with Special Olympics. We are longest-lasting corporate partner to Special Olympics. So for already 52 years, we are supporting this fantastic inclusive initiative. We are supporting it because we would like to give a hand, an opportunity, and visibility to those fantastic people. We are doing this in order to put attention behind the importance of building inclusive society. And we are supporting Special Olympics because this is the way that message about those people and those sensitive groups come out to the rest of the world. And that's why gladly and wholeheartedly we are going to support the Winter Olympics in Kazan in 2022. A couple of words about Kazan, which is a long-lasting partner of Coca-Cola system. And with Tatarstan, we have fruitful cooperation in many areas. We are absolutely confident that with infrastructure, with the know-how, and with fantastic team, which is behind all these events, starting from Universiad, FINA, FIFA, WorldSkills, we have trusted partner who will deliver Olympics with excellence. We also have a great experience in this kind of events, so this is perfect match. And with Tatarstan and with Kazan, we are going to make Special Olympics, and as only Tatarstan and Coca-Cola can do. And now also building on something which Olga mentioned, Special Olympics are fantastic events, but these are one-off events, and they will start and they will finish at a certain date. And that's why we wanted to make something which is more spread throughout the whole Russia and more visible to everyone. And we developed initiative which is about unifying people with special needs, so with mental disabilities, and so-called people without them, and to pair them. And we managed, irrespectively to the pandemic situation in 2020, we managed to organize almost 3,000 pairs of people with mental disabilities and without them in 20 regions of Russia. And we organized 47 events in which they played and they exercised together. So this is something which we believe will leave the mark, and this is something which will be sustainable initiatives which we are planning to roll out throughout Russia. So to go also beyond 20 regions in which we are present today. So to repeat our proudness of being part of this great initiative, our intention to continue being trusted partners to these sensitive groups, and our contribution to building inclusive society of the future in which our people with mental disabilities will get the space which they deserve and will live a normal life amongst us. So also I would like to thank everybody here, Mr. Minister, Mr. President, Olga, for walking together on this fantastic journey, which is going to be a long-lasting journey as far as we are concerned.
Спасибо большое, Александр.
Thank you.
Я в заключение...
Alexander, thank you very much. And I would like to ask a brief question to everyone of you, just to wrap it up. And Olga has alluded to education, because education is an area where people can come together, understand the idea of inclusivity, and become more open, and understand that people can be different. What else do you think we can do in order to make our society more inclusive? What do you think is there anything else we can change? Well, since I'm sitting closer to you, let me start. We have already mentioned here today that in a number of regions of our country, this initiative enjoys serious support. Now, Olga has rightly pointed out that we can set up the capacity and the infrastructure for hosting these Olympic Games, but the HR potential and we still have an HR issue. We have the infrastructure, we need the people to stuff this infrastructure with. And we have the All-Volga Academy of Physical Culture, and there is a special department in this academy which trains professionals in the area of sports. I mean, professional people who understand how to handle and how to work with these sportsmen and people who have developmental challenges. And I think we need to address this issue holistically. We need to look at sports, we need to look at education. I guess mass media could have done a lot more as compared to what they're doing now. So they're showing something to somebody, but what I think they should be showing, they should be showcasing stories when the people with disabilities are coping with their challenges and overcoming these obstacles. And I think if we had that, if we could see this information, a lot more people would be willing to support this. And another example is the volunteer movement during the pandemic. We even had business people assisting aged people with helping them and providing them help, whichever help they needed during the pandemic. Because these people live with us. They are part of our society. And we need to think more about it. We need to be more open. We need to act in a more active fashion. And this is not to say that we haven't done anything before. A lot has already been done in our country to improve this. And Olga Slutsker is a very determined person. she's very focused, and I think she would deliver an excellent result. So we have been entrusted with an honor to host the Special Olympics, and we should host it in such a way that we should raise the bar very high, just to make sure that it can hardly be achieved by anyone else, but not to showcase how good we are at doing these things, but it's about leaving legacy. It's about underscoring the importance of tradition and the value of the people that we have in our country. So all large-scale sports events have become the legacy of our country. And the Special Olympics should be no exception. It should also become the legacy that would create benefits, not just people with developmental challenges, but for entire public. We have known each other for 15 years now, and we have delivered quite a number of projects together. So I will also touch upon the matter of training and educating people. So, and this is not just about Special Olympics. The Minister of Sports believes that it is the coach who is the core person in sports. And we have a special program focused on enhancing potential of our coaches, and it's a training program that helps them to become more professional. So we have a program for adaptive sports and Special Olympics. We should be more active on the regional level, and we should motivate our regional ministries of sports and our regional public officials to pay more attention to this. Because recently we've got too much focused on high-performance sports. But we have to look at other things. We have to look at our kids, by all means. We have to look at, we have to pay attention to building the family culture and family values. We need more positive coverage from mass media. We need good cases, positive cases. We need stories about families who are coping with the challenges and who are doing this successfully. We must not let anything else to overshadow the family values, because the future of our country hinges on that to a certain extent. And this is what mass media should be focusing on, in our belief. And Ministry of Sports commits to interacting better with different federal level mass media, and I think we can make our own contribution to developing the idea of family values. Interministerial cooperation matters a lot, and we are working together with the Minister of Education, because one of our strategic objectives is making sure that we are bringing up healthy kids, healthy from the physical and healthy from the mental perspective. So, and from that perspective, Ministry of Healthcare, Ministry of Sports, and Ministry of Education can work together, because health is not just about physical health. And to that extent, I completely agree with Mr. Minnikhanov. It is very important to keep working together, and we greatly value the support that we get from Coca-Cola, and we are delighted to see business becoming more and more active player in this field. Businesses can help to develop our society, and because better developed society means better business conditions. We are running out of time. Aleksandar and Olga, please excuse me for not giving you an opportunity to answer this question, but I think we'll have a chance to talk offline. I would like to conclude our session here. And I still can't believe that this subject is being discussed at such high-profile event. An inclusive society is a society, it's a win-win game. win-win situation. In inclusive society, all members of this society value the needs of all other members. And I think we can get closer to this situation. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Изменились ли мы? Стали другими или остались собой? Принимая время, место, обстоятельства. Главное — не остановиться сегодня, чтобы стать сильнее завтра. И знать, мы вместе. И это все меняет. Ваш Газпромбанк.